Go, baby! Woo! Welcome into the PHNX Rising post-game show. Folks, Phoenix Rising, they are in the round of 16 of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup for the first time in club history after a 2-1 victory over North Carolina FC. This is why we love the beauty that is the Open Cup. This game was drunk. This game was on OGs. It had absolutely everything. We have goals being scored within the first 10 minutes. We have double yellows and Rising players being sent off within the first 25 minutes. We have North Carolina players being sent off. We end the match, supposed to end the match, usually, doing the math, 11 plus 11, 22 players. You're in the match with 19. It was just that type of match. This is absolutely why we love the majesty and the beauty of, this country's oldest soccer competition. It's awesome. Appreciate everyone joining us. I am, of course, Max Simpson. Owen will be joining from the bowels of the North Carolina Stadium, whatever it's called, no free ads, in just a few minutes, but we're going to be chatting with you guys. Until then, keep those chats, those comments coming in. Let's just talk through this, right? The Open Cup, I think we kind of saw a lot of changes when this lineup dropped. I think the big one, right? I know Jake Anderson and I were talking on yesterday's podcast, and it's like, right, what lineup is Phoenix Rising going to go with? The fact that the back line was actually pretty solid, right? Wyke has definitely kind of, played his part in fair share. You have Mochari in there. You have Stenberg in there, pretty solid. Rakowski was going to be the one where, depending on how they went with goalkeeper, I really thought that's where Phoenix Rising was going to dictate the game. And I said, if they're going to go with Rakowski, I don't know. I'm not saying they're not putting any emphasis within this Open Cup match, but I don't know if it's their strongest squad, right? Rocco over Rakowski. I mean, we're going to take that 10 out of 10. So seeing him in the lineup definitely gave a little bit of caution there. But to Rising's credit, I think they were very much the team where they were taking it to them. They were very much the dominant team for pretty much most of the match. I can't really think of too many chances where North Carolina was very much growing into the game. Yes, they had that kind of absurd goal with which, you look at it firsthand, it didn't really seem like much, but it was a pretty well finished, and they kind of grew into it after that. But overall, Phoenix Rising was very much the dominant team within this. After North Carolina spurred after that goal, they calmed things down. Certainly going down to 9 men definitely helped in Phoenix Rising's favor. And you kind of just ride out the match within that one. But, I'm kind of seeing people in the chat a little bit, want to shout everyone out. You guys are here on a Wednesday evening of all things, right? Seeing Bandito's Bluebird in the chat. Gallardo's 2 great crosses tonight in a minute. Sears header and the Giulio goal needs to show that more often. I agree. I think this is one we knew that this club was going to go deep within their bench. All subs being used, including the additional one within extra time, right? 6 subs being used throughout this entire match, right? Zoinks in the chat. What's going on? There's a little, disagreement about the goalkeeper situation. Goalman Pat thinking Rakowski was poor on the goal. Yeah, I mean, getting beaten near post, it's, fair. Siley in the chat saying Rakowski was solid. Some bit of disagreement there. I mean, listen, I don't think you faced much tonight. That's, kind of goes without saying. But, on the goal itself, yeah, I get it. The near post header, it is what it is. Not the header, the kind of finish there. I don't really fault him too much. It was an absurd angle. It was kind of crowded within there. Could he have done better? Sure. Do you think Rocco saves that? It's very possible. But I don't think it was an egregious error or anything like that. We saw a worse error in the Champions League earlier in the day. So it was nothing within that. And yes, Zoinks in the chat, shouting out Juan Azocar, who we're going to get to in a little bit. But this was a comprehensive club performance. I think this is something where if you've seen Phoenix Rising Open Cup matches of old, this team kind of falters down the stretch, right? They don't usually come off hot within Open Cup starts. They certainly don't finish hot. And again, you look at this match, first 10 minutes, they're scoring the goal. Last 10 minutes, they're scoring the goal. Yes, you can say the numbers advantage. And, by the end, really all of extra time, it was kind of gross, tired legs out there. There wasn't a ton of running going on. But listen, this game easily could have gone to penalties. And, yes, Rocco had, there was a possible sub. Rocco may have been saved for penalties. I guess we'll never know. But I mean, listen, this is how we thought this match was going to be destined. Producer Shane behind the Mac, I almost I thought it was a premonition that was going to pass.
It was not a premonition. It was you willed it. You wanted to be here late.
I did. I wanted, because this is how Phoenix Rising gets things done. I said on yesterday's pod, it was going to be 1-1. It was 1-1 as it finished. And sure enough, it did in 90 minutes. And we go on and it was going to go into penalties. We didn't get there. Who knows if Rocco would have come on, made the difference. But I think it really took an entire squad performance. I think this is where, was this a club statement win or anything defining like that? Not in their performance itself. It was a good performance. I think getting to the round of 16 in itself, right? You only have to play one game to get there, but you make it happen. You achieve something that this club has not done before in its history. And now you await the matchup between Louisville and Seattle Sounders that just kicked off. So we'll see what happens there. Rising would, of course, travel away to either one. But yeah, man, it's just kind of how this cookie crumbles.
You're upset. You wanted to be here even later. You wanted.
I didn't want to be here later, but the magic of penalties.
Max and I had a meeting this morning, and he wanted to be here from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And he's stoked. He loves the office.
That's what we call a shift. Thing. That's what we call a shift, my guy. No, you don't have to worry about that. Giulio Doratiotto said, nope. Don't have to worry at all about penalties or anything like that. We got you. Chat, keep on chiming in. Let us know who are just some of your takeaways. Who are the people who you thought had a good impact within this match, right? Again, Going Man Pat's still going back to a couple of things, right? He said Wyke early leader for dummy of the year, right? With that 2-footed, double yellow. Yeah, definitely a tough one in there. And then Going Man Pat further going on to say back heel from a bit further out to the near post. Got to at least make an attempt. I agree on being flat-footed, right? Got to make an attempt. I don't know if he's getting there. I don't know if Rocco's getting there. That's not to, again, we can play the what-if game all we want. Just a very tough angle and a super weird angle. I feel you can try to do your reflexes all you want. You maybe just don't even see something like that. But yeah, making more of an attempt. But right, curious to see who you guys think are, some of the standout players from this match. I think, right, outside of, a couple guys who maybe weren't up to standard, this was a complete team performance, as we go on to say, right? Remy could have maybe had a goal to buried, but he had a good hold-up play. Panos, performed well. The back line, by and large, didn't really have to do much. And when they did, they snuffed out everything for the most part. It's a pretty complete performance. Actually, if sources tell me, I believe Mr. Owen Evans may be free to tap in if producer Shane's taking a look at that. Yep, we got him.
All right, Max.
What's going on, buddy?
It's late.
Yeah, you're darn right it is. It's you're on the East Coast time, man, so it's almost 11 o'clock your time.
It is 11:15, pretty much.
Well,
yes, that is true.
Yeah. Owen, we're chatting through with the people in the chat and everything like that. We're just trying to kind of sum up this game. You play 120 minutes. You have 2 men sent off over the course of those 4, the double yellows accumulated by both. Yep. An early goal within the first 10 minutes for Rising. They end with a goal within the last 10 minutes. So much chaos. It is the Open Cup. What was that like out there, man? That was an all-timer.
Yeah, it was. The person next to me in the press box in that second half described it as getting a bit CONCACAF-y.
Yeah.
It was one of those games that's just you kind of just have to grit through. It feels as though everything at every step is some form of emotional test, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it starts before the game even kicks off. This game starts late. They do the warm-ups, they go into the locker room, and then you're stuck. You also end up, of course, with a player who was warming up in Edgardo Rito, who the word, by the way, initially from head coach Danny Stone is nothing too serious. He doesn't think, but he has to wait for an update on that one. It was left out as precaution after warm-ups. Saw him dropped. Juan Carlos Azocar pushed from the bench into the starting lineup as a result. You end up with an early goal, an early red card. Then the opposition get a red card just before the break because, again, they thought they'd do something stupid in there. Mostly on the first yellow card, more than the second, which is a bit of an awkward toss-up, I'm not sure. And then just as the game goes on, look, it's a long one. It's not easy always when you try and defend and it's 10 against 10 because it does encourage you to play a more open game. There's more space on the pitch. It's harder to, I think, as we saw the one dub at the break with Panos going off and Ale coming on, you kind of look at it and think, is this a start at maybe parking the bus? And you can't really do that as easily when you've got 10 against 10. And Rising did try. It wasn't as though they just sat back and didn't attack at all, but it just makes it that bit awkward. You end up then with a set piece. They get back into the game. We go into extra time. There's another red card because why not? Keep going with them. But in the end, it's Giulio Doratiotto with his first professional goal.
What a time to do it.
That's what seals it. That's what seals it in the end.
Man.
Yeah.
What a time to do it. This match honestly had a little bit of everything. Listen, there's so many ways that we can take this. I want to kind of go start off really quick. When you see the lineup, right? I think that was the biggest thing of how this team is going to bring in different players, some guys who maybe aren't in the usual starting 11. Big one, right? The highlight, Rakovsky in Farako. I think that was going to be the one where, yes, we've seen him come in within previous Open Cup matches last season, everything like that. How do you kind of judge this lineup overall? Because on paper, still a lot of guys who were in the starting 11 who were out there for this one.
There was rotation, right? But as White comes in, you kind of expect that. He was in really with the first 11 at the start of the season. Rakovsky obviously is the headline one. I understand there is a desire sometimes to put the backup goalkeeper who's not going to get any playing time otherwise in some of these cup games. I will also add that I think that Rocco Villarnovo is such a good goalkeeper that I don't think you drop him if you are able to not drop him. You look at some of the other changes in there. I mean, Skias comes in. Do you deserve an opportunity? I think he did at some point to show what he can do. And again, especially with a youngster in Giulio Doratiotto, do you want him playing 90? Do you want him playing lengthy spells of time, 3 games in 8 days? Probably not. So I understand that. You don't want to burn the youngster out. And then, you make the other change of bringing Fede in ahead of Emi. Again, Fede's been in and around that kind of area for a while. Look, were there changes in there? Yes. Do I think they were necessarily that strange? No. Outside of Rakovsky, any of those, and maybe Skias, who's mostly been frozen out of the team, it feels, for a lot of this season.
Yep.
None of the players that were swapped in felt like they weren't people who could start on any given match day. And I think that's the difference sometimes between what we've seen in other years when there's been rotation and you see that wholesale change and you see guys who you just think they wouldn't ever get more than 10, 15 minutes on a pitch. And this, what we saw today, which is a lot more along the lines of people who will start some weeks but not others, are the ones that were put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
To Bandito's Bluebirds comment, by the way, can I just address that one now? Suspensions only applicable to the cup. My understanding is yes, the Open Cup is effectively self-contained, with the exception of referee abuse or referee assault, which would apply to other things, because that's US soccer policy and that supersedes this. But my understanding is that disciplinary matters in the Open Cup only matter in the Open Cup. So if you want to ask, is Lawrence White suspended for this weekend? The answer to my knowledge is no. He will be suspended for the round of 16 game that Rising will play against either Seattle or Louisville.
Gotcha. Awesome. No, thank you for that, O. All right. So talked about the line a bit. couple of the late roster tinkering, given the rain delay and everything like that, man, that's a long day for you. Goodness gracious. But then we kind of get into this, right? And Rising, again, we have said it. Jake and I were talking about it yesterday. This isn't a good North Carolina side. They're bottom of the East for a reason. And it kind of showed. Rising was the more threatening team going forward. And again, within the 10 minutes.
Here's where I'll kick this back to you. When you actually look at a lot of numbers for a lot of that game, who was leading in expected goals and why? Because Rising, when they got threatening on the attack, was often they were looking for those balls over the top. And almost every single time, it felt like they were offside.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's be fair on that. Let's not downplay North Carolina too much there. And that they had a lot of chances themselves, fair few from set pieces, admittedly, but it's not as though Rising were, I think, creating a whole lot, and North Carolina just weren't.
No, I mean, I get that. I would say Rising just had more of the stranglehold on the game, even from the early on. I guess it's one of those, right? You look at the tone setting and how so much of, right, and if this game proves it, that late goals can, kind of come out of nowhere and change things. But if you're kind of looking at how this match was going to unfold, and the key point was Rising, in theory, dominating possession and really kind of being able to take advantage of a North Carolina team who Rising would have the deeper roster, able to bring more guys in and just, hey, chip away at them early, come on late. That's kind of a bit what we saw. And,
they
North
do
Carolina,
have the depth. They do have the depth, to be fair.
Yeah.
North Carolina will play kids later on.
Yeah. And listen, North Carolina had, some here and there, but it's one of those things. I don't think it was ever sustained. I guess more what I'm coming about. And that's kind of the microcosm of their goal, which we'll get into later. But it was just kind of a against the run of play, kind of just a blip. Whereas Phoenix Rising was by and large, when you look at the complexion of the 90 minutes, and I guess over the 120, they were the more dominant team. But of course, it starts with a guy who is our man of the match. It is Juan Carlos Azocar, right? There's a lot. Giulio is a very good shout, and my word, it was very tough not to give it to him. But you got to go with a guy who he was put on this roster, within the starting 11 minutes before this match started, with the rain, with the delay, and everything like that. This man, 1 goal. 1 out of his 3 shots were on target. So, right, that 1 shot on target going to the back of the net. The most successful dribbles on Phoenix Rising for 4 out of 5 successful dribbles. And then just another fun fact, again, played those 90 minutes. Listen, the guy put in a shift, was up and down. He was chasing some of those loose balls very much at the end of regulation. So, listen, he's a guy who he's put in a shift, and what he can bring to this club, but actually being able to put one in the back of the net really gave this team a spark. And I think it's something that they very much needed a hot start. It's just not something that they've had a ton this season.
I would agree. Yeah, I think he put in a good shift overall. And again, especially when you consider the fact that, as always, right, and I spoke with Danny Stone about this, right, and it kicks in from the minute the game is pushed back, right? It's just managing emotions and managing those awkward moments, right? For Juan Carlos Azocar, he wasn't supposed to start today. And he comes in and puts that kind of a shift in, gets the goal, ends up actually doing a little bit more than that. Can we be fair to him as well? There's another big contribution he had in there, and that he baited Paco Craig.
That was nice.
Stupid yellow card. So it looked like a little tribute to Darius Formella, to be honest. I'd imagine putting that under there. And of course, for anyone who is watching this and wondering where was Darius Formella today, if you've missed it, he of course celebrating the birth of his child. So congratulations to him. But I just feel as though when you go into that moment, you're not expecting to start. You come out there and contribute in the way that he did, both on the ball in terms of getting the goal, in general, just I think being quite menacing down that wing, and then also a little bit of shenanigans that baits someone into a yellow card that ultimately sees them sent off down the line. I just think his impact today was very, very good.
Very much so. And, I mean, you wouldn't have heard the commentary say it. I'm curious if you happen to hear this through the grapevine, but commentary, they must have, it sounded like they thought that Azocar picked up the yellow. And of course they're going on and you get a yellow for celebrating like that. And what a bad da-da-da-da. When in reality, you played yourself, man. It wasn't. It was actually North Carolina who ends up picking the yellow card up after that celebration in the scuffle.
Yeah, so normally what you happen, to be fair, in those kind of scuffle moments, the reason they happen normally is because you're late in the game, and that getting the ball back in play is the urgency, right? And so what you see then is a yellow card can often be given to the player who picks the ball up because they say, well, it's not your restart. Why are you messing around with it? Why are you holding us up? However, in this case, it's the 9th minute of play.
That's what I'm saying. What are we doing?
Honest.
Why does it matter?
I don't know why Paco is getting in there.
I don't know.
Okay? Yeah. I think it's just a moment of pure idiocy. And it's why, while I know some people, and there were some gripes about that yellow card on the second yellow card now on Carolina's side as to whether it was actually really a foul there that was committed. And I understand that, right? It was a little bit of a tangling up. It was a bit awkward. Now, once you give it, I think you have to give the yellow card because it's stopping a promising attack, really, by just taking that guy out off the ball. But overall, I mean, when you do something that dumb that early in a game to pick up a yellow card, you're not doing yourself any favors there, are you?
Facts. All right. So the goal happens, get the yellow, North Carolina gets the yellow card. Boom, boom, boom. On we go. It's I'm seeing a couple comments in the chat, multiple people shouting out some players in L in the chat. Mo played a great game, and it was Bluebird also echoing Mo put in a good shift. I think, right?
Yo, Max, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to shout out some of our fantastic partners because I got a flight early in the morning.
Oh boy, this guy! So you see that he's literally trying to.
I have a flight, and the first number on the time starts with a 5. So can we get through this, please, man?
You're crazy. Well, that's on you, my guy. That's on you, my guy.
Okay, let's get on with this, please.
Oh my gosh!
You're not going to go enjoy any of the rally nightlife?
I know. That's what I'm
pretty
saying.
Great.
That's
well,
crazy.
Actually, I think you'll find this is in Cary. Slightly different.
Oh,
there is a dive bar that's open until 2 in the morning, but I mean,
dear gosh, listen.
Do we go from the bar to the airport today?
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I'm happy to read our partners. It doesn't mean we're not going to get through our stuff, but I'll talk about our friends at Circle K if it'll please you, if it'll indulge you. It'll be my read, damn it, because they do have their 69-cent Polar Pops. It is a pretty nice promotion, as you can see the Circle K cart behind me with all the different options that you can choose from. Right. Check out Circle K, their Inner Circle program all throughout the Valley. I reckon they even have one in North Carolina because they are all across the country. Boom. Check them out. Again, Inner Circle members, they get a 69-cent Polar Pop, that discounted thing and all that stuff. Picked up water at Circle K. The office now has water. So there you go, Owen.
The office has water.
The office has water. It is quite the revelation.
It's a surplus of water.
It is a surplus. We are on a smorgasbord.
It's Water Wednesday
water.
today.
It is Water Wednesday indeed. Check out Circle K.
Someone just say waterboarding.
What? No.
I felt like I heard that in my
I think I heard that too.
I heard smorgasbord. Stop that.
You're smorgasbording. Stop smorgasbording.
Okay. Anyway, check out Circle K, their Inner Circle program. Again, at participating locations, see store for details.
Max is out here. Max is out here genuinely with the little like reference there to a word that apparently wasn't said. I wonder if Max is starting to threaten to use our partners or face consequences.
What?
Is that the point we're getting to? What do you think, Shane? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before he starts using force.
All right.
Anyway.
I think you guys are on OGs.
Anyway. The S is superfluous.
Is it really?
It is.
What? Thank you. I actually did not know that. That sounds foreign to me. That's weird. Anyway, you guys.
What's this about foreign, Max?
Shut up. You're in a foreign state. That's where you are, and that's fine. But anyway, check out our friends at OG's Brands. You guys might be on OG's. Maybe you should take OG's to chill out. This game certainly was on OG's. It was loopy. It was a loopy match. A little bit of everything. It was crazy. It had some highs. It had some real lows, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, whether you need the indica, the sativas, everything like that, check out our friends at OG's Brands. They'll get you hooked up for the next round of Open Cup matches, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Let's go, baby. Check out our friends at OG's Brands at ogsbrands.com and on socials at OG's Brands. You must be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly. All right. Yep. So, all right, cover the goal. Azocar scores. This is a point of contention. I want to see how, like, what this looked like in real time. Lawrence Weick, second yellow in the 24th minute.
Oh, yeah.
What the?
Oh, yeah.
Buddy, that looked horrible.
Oh, yeah.
That looked bad.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel the need, and this is a positive night overall. Phoenix Rising have made history tonight. They progressed to a stage of the tournament that they have never done in their history. This is big. However, the one negative here, and I think it's a real serious negative, and unfortunately it's a negative that I think some of us had questions about from preseason as we were watching the games, is Lawrence Weick, does he have the temperament necessary to go with? He's undoubtedly got talent. I'm not going to argue that whatsoever. We've seen it in moments earlier in the season. We've seen the way that he's been able to advance the ball. We've seen it in past seasons. He's been able to do good things with Tampa Bay Rowdies in particular. But does he have the temperament to consistently contribute to this team at the level that you want? We were worried in preseason because we saw him twice commit offenses that honestly, as we looked at, we thought, maybe he's lucky to stay on there. Yeah. Tonight, he didn't get lucky. Tonight, he launched into a challenge that was, I will be quite blunt, stupid. With less than 30 minutes on the clock, while he was already on a yellow card. Why?
Yeah.
What are you doing in that moment? Are you thinking? It's just simple bit of thought in there, right? There are ways that you get sent off for 2 yellow cards early doors, and unfortunately, it's kind of how it goes, right? Did he save anything in particular from happening there? No. Why was the challenge necessary? The simple answer here is that it wasn't. It wasn't necessary. And the surprise he has as he gets up and sees a yellow card coming out, and he's like waving at the referee like, I only done 2 fouls. I'm sorry. The first one you get a card for, you know that you have to be careful. The second one is worthy of a yellow card. And at that point, you've only got yourself to blame. You've only got yourself to blame. And he honestly, I think, needs to reflect on that a little bit because, quite frankly, in those moments, I just don't know what he's thinking. And the problem with that is that when you decide to launch into challenges like that, when you decide to put yourself in a position for the referee to send you off that early in a game, no matter what talent you've got, you are making yourself a liability. And he is lucky in many ways that didn't come back to bite Phoenix Rising tonight.
Yeah, you allude to it. It's something we even saw in like as early as the last preseason game of like last moment of the game, boom, 2-footed, could have been a red card, bam. All right, so we go on. 40th minute, boom, double yellow for North Carolina, equalizes things out, and we're going into halftime. Phoenix Rising up 1-0. 10 on 10. It's one of those matches. It's bonkers. Honestly, a relatively on a relatively uneventful second half for the most part. You're kind of thinking Phoenix Rising. It's the equalizer of being down to 10 men. It kills off really anything that North Carolina had. There was once Phoenix Rising had the lead. Yes, the blip of the red of the double yellow aside. Then once the equalizes out, you're thinking, just hold it. They did that for pretty much the most part. Then a random corner in that 80th minute, a absolutely audacious back heel kind of stop. The chat is kind of disagreeing. Some people think it was just a hell of a finish. Other people thought Rako Rakovsky could have gotten something on it. Listen, I don't know if you're stopping that. It's a lot of bodies in there. Could Rocco have got to it? Maybe, but that was either way. It's a hell of a finish. And somehow it's an equalized game. We're going into extra time and we're thinking, listen, Rising should have the advantage purely just how they've played, but anything can happen in extra time, as we know.
Absolutely. Anything can happen. And hey, in the end, it does.
It does. Red card, a couple minutes in. Again, swung. Again.
A lot of those yellow cards were coming out, right? And again, right, you've just got to think. When you get a yellow card, you have to be very, very thoughtful what you do after that point. Because the minute you do something that could be a yellow card again, you're just inviting the referee to go to the back pocket.
Yep. And then, so again, that straight red, in the 94th minute leads to...
It wasn't a straight red, actually, that one. I understand that the stats are a little bit off on this one. I definitely saw a second yellow come out.
Got it. Thank you.
Whole debate in the press box, don't worry. I think they were confused because Rising put the wrong number down for Ryan Flood.
Got it.
Sheet. And so while they were working through all the subs and that and all of that, it may have held them up a little bit and missed that one. But I believe it is a second yellow card, and that was what was generally agreed upon here in the press box.
Which is also crazy because that first yellow card was 10 minutes beforehand, not even 10 minutes beforehand. So of course, this game drunk again. Giulio Doratiotto scoring in the 111th minute. Classy finish. Gallardo providing the assist, and it caps off just a lunatic night. It is Open Cup. This is what happens.
You know what?
This is what we do.
Should we hear from the man himself, Giulio Doratiotto?
Let's do it.
Oh, it feels amazing also because it's my first professional goal, and I was waiting for that moment, and I'm so happy to help the team to get a win, and that's it.
That's joy,
First
man.
Professional goal.
It's so cool.
First professional goal.
He's 20, right?
He is, I believe, 20, yes.
Oh boy, man, I feel
youngster.
I
Love
feel old.
Juve, and what a moment, right? Slams it in. You're up a man late in the game. Off comes the shirt, of course. Off comes the shirt. I did see a tweet actually from MLS referee stats earlier saying the only way that this Rising against North Carolina game could have gotten better is if Rising's goal scorer was already on a yellow card. Just to make it that little bit more drunk, I suppose that could have happened.
Gosh.
But obviously it didn't. Giulio picks up his yellow card for that one, and everyone moves on. And most importantly, Phoenix Rising moves on.
It caps off a lunatic match. If you're looking at the number of times the ref went to his pocket, whether yellow or red, 13 cards shown, 3 of them red. Yes, for double yellow.
Remember, Max,
my word.
remember more than anything, though, Phoenix Rising doesn't win knockout games in 90.
You're darn right they don't. They don't win in 90.
If I worked it out, I'm not sure this is just quick numbers I did in my head, but from 2019, not counting Open Cup, only counting playoffs at this point, because I didn't count the Open Cup because it was too many to kind of deal with. I believe only 2 of Rising's 10 games have actually been settled in 90 minutes.
Dear gosh. Yeah, producer Shane was optimistic, and then, well, should have known.
Shane.
No, I was not.
You have to learn.
No. The second that Max said the word penalty before the game got underway, I was like, "Oh, we're screwed." And then the weather delay, and it's 8:00, and I want in and out. I'm very hungry.
No free ads, but you know what you do want with that redacted brand burger is our friends at Four Peaks.
No, I want to get in and out of the studio.
Oh, nice.
On,
I see
Max.
what you did there. You crazy guy. Well, you can get
burger. What are you talking
you can get in and out of your you can get in and out. Just shoot. No, you can
Max,
move.
Why are you giving away free adverts?
Hush. Cease. You're
giving away free ads.
Cease. You can move briskly and within and out of places, especially with our friends at Four Peaks, by going to a local convenience store, Circle K, of course, going to their 8th Street pub, moving in relatively swiftly and exiting relatively swiftly. Again, with some beer in hand, their Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale. They got that on tap. You like that? You like that? They got the golden. They got the wow, the kilts, everything like that. The hazy, the hop nuts. You guys already know it's fantastic. Celebrate this massive Open Cup win with some Four Peaks in hand. Check them out. Find them at fourpeaks.com. To find them at a local establishment near you. Check them out at Four Peaks Pub and at Four Peaks Brew. To follow up with the latest and greatest going on in Arizona's hometown brewery, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly. Also, shout out our friends at Valley Taproom. Valley Taproom, they got beers. They sell Four Peaks there. It's a great time to check it out. Again, they got the Queen Creek and the Gilbert locations. Go say what's up. Check out my man Donald, and it's always a great time at Valley Taproom. Small, little intimate setup, but my word, we've had watch parties there, all types of fun stuff. It's a great time to check out if you're on the East Valley. Check out an Open Cup game there. Again, got a chance in 2 weeks. But yeah, check them out again in person. Both their locations. Follow them on socials at Valley Taproom and follow them online, valleytaproom.com. All right,
Max, you got a new nickname in the chat.
W-
Rusty is in there referring to you as Max Toman Simpson.
Don't like that. We're gonna breeze on past that.
That one might stick.
It won't. We're gonna breeze.
Might.
Stop. You don't have to point that out. This is how this thing
Jane,
happens.
clip it.
Stop. Don't clip anything. Anyway, yeah. Phoenix Rising in the round of 16 for the first time in Open Cup history. And of course, that's how we get there with By the Numbers, presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. There's another number one credit union named by Forbes. Of course, again, here are the numbers. Phoenix Rising 2-1 over North Carolina FC. They lost the XG battle, 1.02 XG for Rising, 1.89 for North Carolina. Possession, pretty even. Shots. Here's the big thing, right? 14 shots for Phoenix Rising, 20 for North Carolina, but it's the quality of shots. 4 out of those 14 shots for Phoenix Rising are on goal. 2 of the 20 for North Carolina are on goal. You got double the on goal, so it's a better percentage there. Doesn't really reflect in the XG, but hey, again, it's just one of those things. The eye test often is going to be a little bit more powerful. It was in this one. Phoenix Rising, again, by and large, the more dominant team. And what does that mean, Owen? It means that Phoenix Rising, first time in club history, they're in the round of 16 for the U.S. Open Cup. And you know what? It means that they have a chance to play one of 2 opponents. Ain't that right?
Yeah, it is one of 2. But before we do that, let's just get on. As we mentioned, it's Rising's first time in the last 16 in the Open Cup. I did ask Rising coach Danny Stone what it means. Let's have a quick listen to Danny.
It means that we won a tough away game, which we knew we were going to be faced with. It means that, obviously, as a club and as a team, regardless of situation, we're happy to win and to be into the next round, and to be in the last 16, obviously, is an exciting thing. You know, and we kind of leave it there for now. We look at it as a big positive for tonight. We look at it as a good step forwards in this competition. And now, honestly, the attention now turns to fast recovery. Obviously, we have another league game coming up now in a couple of days' time, and another flight to an East Coast location. So, you know, we have that combination of being very pleased with tonight in the end. Happy to be in the next round of the competition, and you know, as I always will, the credit goes to the players who fought very, very hard in a game tonight, and in the end, I think deserve to come away with a victory. And so, as a club and as a team, I'm very pleased for everybody involved.
As always, by the way, those videos, the full video list of videos and answers from both Danny and Giulio will be going up at PHNX__rising on Twitter, so make sure to check those out later.
Boom. Heck yeah. Hear the man.
Yes.
Good to hear from Danny Stone.
I'll also address, by the way, one of the questions in the chat there. What were the offside stats? North Carolina offside once, Rising offside. I can't do it because I don't have the 2 hands available, really. 9 times.
I got a big look from Shane. Yeah, 9 times.
Because I said 9.
Oh, yeah.
I just guessed.
Oh, you guessed. Oh, I thought you
What a
looked.
guess.
That was a
What
good guess.
Shane, would you like to replace Max?
Yeah. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish. See, I'm already better than him.
Is this you impersonating Max now, but doing it better?
Not impersonating him, just trying to fill the void that he would leave.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Max is just sitting there, like, staring down.
Speaking of voids, if you want to fill a void in your stomach,
Phoenix Rising back in the round of 16.
there are
First
no more
time.
ad reads. I just wanted to do a
I
transition.
don't know. For the first time in club history. And what does that mean? They are going to be facing one of 2 possible teams during the stretch of either May 21st or May 22nd. It's going to be either the Seattle Sounders or Louisville City. That game currently right now, for those of you keeping score at home or looking at an app, it's a 0-0 game right now going into the 40th minute. Yes. But
New Mexico got through as well, by the way. They knocked out RSL.
Bonkers.
I see there's some miserable people in the chat for that one. I probably won't disagree with you. I will also add in Tampa Bay.
The Tampa Bay Birmingham Legion
That
match
was drunk. Also, shout out Manu Arteaga, right? Who scored 2 goals in extra time and then got sent off.
Little bicycle.
And then got sent off. What a game for the man.
Yeah.
He wins it and then gets sent off. That's just classic.
Also, Tampa Bay were winning 4-0 in the 80th minute. And then Birmingham Legion rips off 4 in 20 minutes. No, 10 minutes. Math. Whatever. 15 minutes.
Plus
with
the
time.
stoppage.
Whatever.
The
yeah,
final one was a
that's
penalty
insane.
at 90 plus 6.
Insane. It's literally insane. That match is just all kinds of drunk. The Open Cup is drunk. This is why we love this damn competition. Phoenix Rising continues onward again, one more time. It's going to be the either the 21st or the 22nd. They will be playing, and both matches would be away. Either one would be away. Either it's going to be Seattle Sounders or Louisville City. So make sure if you're watching that match right now, play score at home, because that's going to determine who Rising play. And there we go. All right. Owen, you got to catch a flight. You're a crazy person for taking a flight, or at least I don't feel bad for you on that one. But anything else you have for the people?
No. I don't have anything else for you, Max, after that comment. Wow.
You have so much to say, and that's what you're going to get offended with, man. You don't have the tough skin for our. You don't have the tough skin for our Wrexham fanhood. You know, like just like Shane and I. Ain't that right? Wrexham.
Max, when did I last see you at a regular season away match, mate?
All right, appreciate everyone following us here on the PH. Yeah, so I don't.
Oh, Max.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on, boys. Come on.
Shane,
Wrexham. Let's go, Wrexham. Woo! Let's go.
I was so close right then to just hitting remove on you guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Suck it, Owen. This has been the PHNX Wrexham, PHNX Rising post-game show. You can follow us on Twitter at PHNX__Rising, because double the underscore, double the Wrexham, and double the
times that
Cup.
we call Max Towman.
You can follow me on Twitter at Max David Simpson. You can follow Owen on Twitter at OJWrexham18. You can follow Shane on Twitter at Shane Deef. That is Shane DIEFF. Double the beef for Shane. You can follow producer Jacob Franklin, on Twitter. He's at places, but you can also follow him. He's going to be in the new Wrexham documentary on his own accord. That's what I hear. But just watch Welcome to Wrexham to see if you can find him on there.
Max, that's a free ad. That's a free ad.
We have so much to get into. Again, join us tomorrow, Thursday.
Free ad, Mr.
I will talk over you as much as I want. I will talk over you as much as I want so that people cannot. Oh my God! You almost got me. No. Mute that, man.
No, I'm going to mute you, Max, because I can do that from here as well. You know what? I'll round us out as well with the important bit here to remember, which is, again, if you want to see the interview clips, make sure to go over to PHNX__Rising on Twitter. We'll have all the interview clips there from the interviews with Danny Stone and with Giulio Doratiotto. Now, Max, can you behave yourself, mate?
Of course I can.
There we go. Thanks, Max.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Were you trying to join from your lap as well?
No, shoot, no, that's crazy. But no, appreciate everyone joining us again. We have on Thursday. Oh,
what is going on?
Gosh. Crazy hour. Oh boy. we join us tomorrow, Thursday, 6 p.m. Again, we're going to do a deeper dive of tonight's matchup, as well as previewing this weekend's matchup against Detroit. So much to get into, but it is a beautiful game. But it's way more beautiful when Rising go to the round 16. They advance to the furthest that they've gone so far in the Open Cup history, within club history, and we keep on here until 3 a.m. Goodbye, everyone.
We all silly like the mayor.